For this video, we are going to create a brand new sequence and we're going to start building our slideshow. We're going to change the duration of each clip. We're going to add a title. So it's going to be a simple tutorial, but this should last all period. The first thing we're going to do is we are going to expand this sequence bin here, and we're going to double click on the sequence to open up the sequence. So if you look at the timeline window, you're going to see the sequence open right here. So if we were to play this, nothing happens because there's nothing here yet. Let's go ahead and do this. Let's go ahead and go to our titles bin and let's drag the title, the 081806. Let's drag that, and I'm just dragging and dropping it to our timeline. So here's the title, and I see it here in the timeline. And if I look at the clip, notice how it's really small. So on your keyboard, if you press the plus key, and notice how you can zoom in. See that it's zoomed in. Or if you press the minus, you can zoom out. It's probably better if you zoom in a little bit, something like this, and you should be able to zoom in right here as well. So here at the very bottom, you see the little circle right here. You can drag this to the right, or you can drag it to the left, and notice how your timeline, you can zoom in and you can zoom out. So we have our title, and we're playing this here. That looks pretty good. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add a custom title. So this is the title that I created in Photoshop, the San Francisco, California. We're going to make another title, but we're going to make this in Adobe Premiere. So let's go ahead and create that title. So I'm going to drag this marker. I'm going to drag it, and you can use the right arrow key so you can move this marker all the way down until it turns completely black, something like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this marker, and you can even press the down arrow key. If you press the down arrow key, notice how the marker moves all the way to the end of this clip right here. And if you press the right arrow key one time, now it's completely black. So let's change our workspace because we are going to make a custom title. So when remember, titles are anytime when you see text on the screen, we're going to add a quote. So let's change our workspace because right now we are working under the editing workspace. Because we're going to add some text, we're going to change the workspace to captions and graphics right here. Every time I pick a new workspace, I always go back to Window, Workspace, to reset, to save layout. And this is going to reset the workspace just like this. Let's go ahead and we're going to type in the quote, and we're all going to type in the same quote. San Francisco has only one drawback. 'Tis hard to leave, by Rudyard Kipling. So I'm going to select the text tool. Here's the text tool right here. Click that one time. Now we have the text tool. And you have to be real careful with this part because we're going to drag a text box. Okay, we're going to drag a text box. So with the text tool selected, I'm going to come up here to the top left corner, and I'm going to drag it down just like this. So notice how I'm making the text box just like that. Release, and now we can type. So the quote is, I'm going to put a quote on it, and I'm going to type, San Francisco has only one drawback. Space dash space. 'Tis hard to leave. Period. End quote. Let's give this guy some credit. So we're gonna press enter maybe twice, and I'm gonna put another dash space. Rudyard Kipling. This is our title, and this is the basic text. We're gonna customize it. Let's go ahead and customize it. Let's change the color. Let's change the font. Let's change the size. How do we do all this stuff? So the first thing we do is we select all the text, just like that. Okay. select the text. Over here on the right, you're gonna see text. So go ahead and navigate and pick whatever. I'm gonna pick this one, and I'm gonna center the text, and I'm gonna change the size of the text. You can type in the size of the text right here, which says 100. I can click on that and I can do like 120 and press tab, and notice how everything gets bigger. Or you see this circle right here, I can drag this circle and I can go to the left and I can go to the right to make it bigger. I find this easier to make the text bigger or smaller, so I like to use this instead. I feel like it's quicker. I feel like the text is too high up, so we can click on here, center text vertically, and now my text is right in the middle. We can also select the text, and where it says fill, we can change the color. We can change the color of this. So I'm going to pick an orange. Maybe something like that. Press OK. And that's my orange. I'm a San Francisco Giants fan, so you know I gotta rock with the orange and black. If I wanted to, I could add a stroke, so I can check the stroke. And in this case, I can give it a white stroke, or I can give it like gray. I'm gonna give it like more of a dark gray stroke. And for the thickness, right over here, maybe I'm gonna change that to 12. And there's my dark gray stroke. So if I wanted to, I could add a background, or I can add a shadow to it. But because I have a black background, you're not gonna see my shadow. So I'm not gonna add the background or the shadow. When you're all done, you can press the selection tool, and I'm gonna click right here on the timeline to deselect my text. So let's go ahead and play this. I can start this at the very beginning. So right over here, guys, in the program window, if I click on the go to end button, this is going to rewind my video all the way to the beginning. So notice right here it says 0000, and now I can press play, and notice how my video is playing, and there's my slogan. So far, this is what we did. We added our title that I gave you guys. All you had to do was drag and drop it to the sequence. Number 2, we created our slogan, San Francisco has only one drawback, 'tis hard to leave, by Rudyard Kipling. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add all our photos to our timeline. So let's go to our stills, and notice how I have all the stills numbered 1 through 11. So all we're gonna do is we're gonna drag the stills bin right to the end of our titles bin, and that should lock in place. And let's go ahead and zoom out. So now you can see all of the different photos. And if you go to the beginning, you have the title, the slogan, and all the different pictures. So this right here is called the marker, where you can move the marker to see your slideshow. There's one last thing we're gonna do here before we call it a day. We're gonna add the end title. I'm gonna show you an easy way to do this. We're gonna select the title that we already created, and if you press Control and C, you can copy it. And now I'm going to drag this marker all the way to the end, and if you hold on the up arrow key, you can see how you go to the left, and it goes to each sequence, to the beginning of each sequence, or if you press down, go all the way to the last clip, then press Control and V. And what we did was we copy and pasted our title to the very end. But we are going to change this because we already have the slogan, so we don't need it twice. So I'm going to select the text. So we are going to select all, and I'm going to go ahead and type the end. And that's going to be my last clip. This is called the end. Okay. We added our title, we added our slogan, we have all our photos, and we have our ending title. So the next thing we are going to do is we are going to make sure that each clip is 4 seconds long. So let's go ahead and zoom in to the first clip. And by the way, guys, so this is the V1 layer. If you click on this gray area right here, this empty space, you can double click it. If you double click it, you can expand it. And sometimes this is easier to see your video clips. If you double click it again, you basically collapse it. So I'm gonna go ahead and double click it. And we wanna make sure that this is only 4 seconds long. So I'm gonna make sure that I'm at the very beginning, at the zeros, and I'm gonna press play. And I'm gonna let this play until it hits 4 seconds. So if you press the space bar, you can pause it. And I'm gonna move the left arrow key until I go to 4 seconds. And that's it right there, that's 4 seconds. So we're gonna go ahead and trim this. So this is how you use the razor tool. Because we're done with our slogans, we're done with our captions and graphics, we're done with our titles. Let's go ahead and change the workspace back to editing. So let's go to Window, Workspace, Editing. And notice here how we're still at 4 seconds and we want to trim this. So with the razor tool, this is a razor tool right here, or you can press the letter C. And when you press the letter C, notice how it changes to the razor tool. If you press the letter A, you're gonna move it to a different tool, like this one is the track select forward. If you press the letter V, it's gonna move to the selection tool. But right now we want the razor tool. So let's press the letter C. We got the razor tool. And right here, guys, you see this marker right here, that's where we want to trim it. So I'm gonna click on that line to trim it. So now it's trimmed. So I'm gonna press the letter V again to select the selection tool. And notice how now we have 2 clips, right? We have this clip that's 4 seconds long. Then we have this leftover stuff here. This is what we don't want no more. So let's go ahead and delete it. With the selection tool, select this clip here and press delete. And now when you play it, it's gone. But notice how now this is blank, so it goes black. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna click on this empty space. This is a cool little secret here. So if you click right here on the empty space, it's selected, and now press delete. So now everything's gonna shift, everything's gonna ripple over to the left. So now you don't have that space. Now, every clip is going to be 4 seconds long, but the title, how long should the title be? We want it to be long enough to where everybody could read it. So let's go ahead and play this and see if it's long enough. San Francisco has only one drawback. 'Tis hard to leave. Rudyard Kipling. We didn't have enough time to read the entire slogan. We didn't have enough time. So what we're gonna do is we are going to extend this clip. We're gonna make it longer to give us more time to read it. Let's go ahead and zoom out on our sequence. So you can see I zoomed out so that I can see all of my clips. And this is where I want to extend my title to. So I'm going to show you guys another tool here. Let's press the letter A, and this is the track select forward tool. It's this one right here. So what does the track select forward tool do? This is going to select the video clip that you pick, and everything to the right of it, it's going to select it. So for example, if I want to click on this video clip here, I click it one time and it automatically selects all of these on the right. So I click on this one and then I drag it. I'm going to drag it this way to the right. Now we're going to expand this video clip here. I'm going to press the letter V to select the selection tool, and I'm going to click on the end of the slogan clip, and I'm going to drag this to the right, and notice how we can extend it out, right? So go ahead and extend that out, and we did. Let's go ahead and get rid of this gap here. So we're going to click this one time and press backspace, and now that's gone. So let's start this from the top. Let's go ahead and rewind this, and let's hit the play button. So that should be 4 seconds long. Yep. And this should be long enough for us to read it, which I think it is now. All of these clips, we're going to change them to 4 seconds. So I wonder if we can do this a faster way. What if let's press the letter A to select the track select forward tool. And I'm going to click this one time. Now we have all of them selected. Now, what if we right click on that first video clip? Let's right click on it, and we're going to go to speed duration right here. Click on speed and duration, and where it says duration, let's change this to 4 seconds. Make sure that you have ripple edit selected and press OK. What did we just do? We just changed each of these video clips to 4 seconds, and by checking on the ripple tool, they all merged over to the left, so everything fits nice and tight. All of these video clips are now 4 seconds. Our ending clip is 4 seconds. The only clip that's not 4 seconds is going to be our slogan. We're pretty much done. We have one more thing to do before we call it a day, and we are going to render our video. So you're not going to really tell because all of these are stills. So when you see a yellow line, or if you see a red line, that means when you play back your footage, when you play back your sequence, the video is going to be choppy. So in order for it to play smoothly, this needs to be green. So every time you make a change, it's going to change the color of this bar. So you always want it to be green. So every time I make a change, I render my video. So before we save our work, let's go render the video, then we'll be done. So let's go to the top of the file menu up here, and let's go to sequence, and we're going to click on render in to out. Click on that one time. It's rendered, it's playing. Notice how we now have a green bar. That means our video is rendered. It's playing smoothly. Everything looks good. Before we exit, make sure that you save your work. It's really, really important that you save your work every 5 minutes. So let's go to File and press Save. So we're pretty much done for this video. For the next video, we are going to add keyframes to these photos, and we're also going to change the size of the photos.